Welcome back inside the Simplified Technology Solutions Intermission Report. Austin Bruins, Minot Minotauros, first intermission. And we're sitting down with assistant coach Justin Fisher of the Austin Bruins. Justin, it's your first year, 7 games under your belt here in the NAHL. How are you adjusting so far?
I'm adjusting as fast as I thought I would, which is not fast whatsoever. It's a quick game. The NAHL is very fast-paced and physical game. So the first 7 games has been an adjustment from what I've been used to, but it's been going great so far, and the team's 500, so we're looking pretty well so far, and I've been excited.
What are some of those big differences, coming over from Adrian and being in the collegiate level? What are some of those differences that you see coming down to the NAHL?
Mostly just hard, like the work ethic. I wouldn't say it's more, but it's just nonstop. You can tell the kids, obviously they don't have much to worry about. It's all about hockey when they're up here in the junior level. And at college, it's more worse. They're more based on their class schedule and getting school done. Then kind of hockey is kind of a second option. But here it's just nothing but hockey. You think hockey, you live hockey, and you sleep hockey. So it's been great, and I'm really enjoying everything that's been going on here.
When you look at the Bruins specifically on the road for 2.5 weeks, whatever it is. I mean, is that something new to you? Is that anything you've ever experienced before, this kind of long stretch being away from home? I know it's nothing I've ever come across in my career.
Not this long. I've done a week with the guys before, which is always fun. But this 2.5-3 week road trip is definitely new, but it's bringing a lot of the guys together. It's getting me to know these guys. Obviously being my first year, I don't know them great. So I'm building a lot of relationships, and I know they're building relationships within themselves. So it's great team bonding, that's for sure.
Bruins taking on the Minotauros here tonight. Coming into the game, half of the Bruins, a little less than half of the Bruins games were against Central Division opponents. And I know one thing that's always constantly harped on, this is one of the toughest divisions in the NAHL. Have you seen that in the 2 games against Aberdeen and the 1 game against the Minnesota Wilderness about how tight these divisional opponents are compared to, say, Janesville, the other team that we've played?
Yeah, it's definitely more physical than playing outside your division. It's these teams in the Central. We're moving our feet and we're banging bodies all 60 minutes. So I mean, I think every game has been by 1 goal so far in our Central Division for us, and that's just how tight and how close all these teams are. I know Aberdeen's kind of getting their breakaway with their 12-0, but as these teams start to create and get more games, and I think it's going to start slowing down, and hopefully that's slowing down for us because, we want to climb up in that standings.
Obviously, when you play a style like that, banging bodies, injuries are going to come of it. Every team in the division, every team in the league has the benefit of a little bit of an expanded roster at this point, but that makes your job as coaches a little bit more difficult because you got more bodies that you're trying to work in the game, and you got, different setups, and you're kind of playing a game of checkers or a game of chess, however you want to look at it. Do you find enjoyment in that? You and Steve sitting down and thinking, hey, maybe we could try this. Hey, maybe we could try that. Is that kind of get your creative juices flowing, or do you like to see more of the X's and O's?
No, it's great. Especially when our game limit's so low right now. The first 5-10 games, you're still adjusting no matter what the season is, even if it's, COVID going on right now or not. You're still getting to know some of the guys and, what their style of play is. I think with us going on right now, we've had battled injuries and COVID, and all these teams have. It's just kind of showing what the bottom half of our lineup is bringing, and we bring in a lot of jam. I think we're a really deep team, so we can kind of compete with anybody that we want to, no matter who's in the lineup right now.
Let's take a look at this Minot Minotauros team. They're a very quick team. They're a fast team. What was the message to the guys all week long coming into Friday night's game, and just kind of what were you guys preaching, you and head coach Steve Howard? What were you telling these guys that you just really wanted them to take with them and bring into these games this weekend?
Yeah, Minot's a really good team. Like you said, they're quick. When you play against a quick team, you want to take away their space. We're very physical, and I think if we can take away their space, we'll be very productive. And they like to get going on the rush. They got a quick breakout, and they like to get going on that 3-line rush. And I think if we have great back pressure from our forwards, and we do a good job of holding somewhat the blue line and having that back pressure come back, we'll be very successful in our D zone, and be able to work more in the O zone.
For a lot of our fans, this is the first time they're getting the opportunity to hear from you. So I'm going to ask you a question that I know you're very familiar about, a subject you're very familiar about, but you probably don't want to talk about it. I want to hear a little bit about you, Justin Fisher. How did you get here? Where'd you come from? What made you want to come and be an assistant coach for the Austin Bruins under Steve Howard? And what are you thinking about the town and the team and the rink and all the stuff that comes with it so far?
So the last 6 years I've been at Adrian College. I played 5 years for the ACHA D1 team, and then last year I stayed there as an assistant coach on the D1 team. And I had the privilege to play under Coach Howard my last year juniors in Flint. He called me up towards the summer, and he was looking for an assistant coach and asked if I was interested. And I told him I was. I always loved playing for him, and I think coaching with him would be a great experience for me. And I've had a wonderful time so far. I'm learning a lot. I know he's learned a lot in his short coaching term, and he's broadened my knowledge of hockey with systems and just kind of how he runs things. So it's been a privilege. And Austin as a town has been wonderful. It's a small town. I'm a small town guy. I've been in Adrian, and Adrian's probably half the population as Austin. So it's been a good time, and I've really enjoyed being around in the town and in the city of Austin. Sorry. I'm
going to pry here a little bit. So I want to know, how different is Steve Howard now that he's your boss in terms of assistant coach, as opposed to when he was your coach and you were the player? Is there any differences there, or is it kind of very similar?
Not much difference. We had a very successful team in Flint, so he didn't really hound on us too much. And as a coach, he likes to just, because I've been in a different program for a while, so he likes to hear, kind of what my thoughts are, because he's been, having kind of the same type of systems or stuff like that going on. So he likes to, hear some criticism towards what he's doing, or he likes to adjust of some things, and he always likes to hear someone else's input.
This is my favorite question to ask players, but I'm going to kind of change it around for the coaches. I always like to ask them, what's their favorite aspect of the game? Are they a guy that just likes really banging bodies? Are they a guy that loves, being on the power play, whatever the situation may be? As a coach, what's your favorite part about being a coach? What's that one thing? I'll give you an example. I'm a broadcaster. My favorite thing to do is prep. I'll dive into numbers and read stuff all the time. I love it. What's your favorite part about being a coach?
I have, a couple. I love, as a player, I loved the PK. I loved being on the penalty kill. I loved blocking shots and getting the team up, and denying the opponent that extra attacker chance. And I also love building relationships with these kids and these players, and they're all coming from different backgrounds, so you never know kind of what's going on through their head, and just kind of picking their brain a little bit about what they're thinking at the time, or just like what they like to do off the ice. It's it's kind of interesting. I'm sure we got a couple of gamers in here. We got some guys that like to get their knowledge in the book. So it's been interesting. It's been good. But yeah, it's definitely the PK and building those relationships with those players.
Well, if there's one thing we know about Steve Howard, he's always going to go to Michigan. He's going to find his good old Michigan guys, whether that's his players or if it's his assistant coach. Assistant coach Justin Fisher joining me here on the Simplified Technology Solutions Intermission Report. Justin, thanks for taking the time here tonight, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you, TJ.